Good morning, my beautiful people. It's Friday, TGIF, November 14th, and we're closing out this week with gratitude, grit, and a whole lot of glow. You made it through the week, you made it through the hustle. Now let's celebrate the wins, reflect on lessons, and step into the weekend with purpose. Whether you're sipping tea or tackling your to do list, remember your energy is contagious, your vision is valid, and your joy is revolutionary. Let's kickstart this day with intention and inspiration. All right, our affirmation of the day is I honor my growth, protect my peace, and walk boldly in my purpose. Every step I take is aligned with the vision I've been called to manifest. All right, our word of the day is ascend. It means to rise, elevate, or move upward, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. For example, she chose to ascend above the noise, trusting her growth more than her doubts. Good morning, Ray. All right, our urban slang word of the day is delulu, meaning short for delusional, usually playfully to describe someone who's living in a fantasy, especially love, fame, or success. It's not shade, it's just self aware dreaming. So he liked my story. I'm probably being delulu, but maybe that means something. So a lot of people well, more of the millennials and Gen Zs are saying, delulu is the salulu. Yeah, where they come up with these things, I never know. All right, on to our top news headlines. Of course, the U.S. government shutdown ends after 43 days. Our president, Donald Trump, signed a stopgap spending bill late Wednesday night, officially ending the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. The bill funds operations through January 30th, allowing federal agencies to reopen and resume services. The shutdown had halted SNAP benefits, grounded flights, and left thousands of workers unpaid. Also, controversial spending bill rider sparks backlash. A provision in the newly passed spending bill allows 8 Republican senators to sue the Department of Justice for up to $1 million if their phone records were seized during investigations into the January 6th Capitol attack. Critics, including Republican Jamie Raskin, have called it, quote, blatantly corrupt self-dealing, end quote, prompting House Speaker Mike Johnson to vow a repeal vote next week. All right, on to New York. Union Square Holiday Market opens with 185 vendors. The city's iconic market kicks off its festive season, running through December 24th with artisan gifts and food. The Mets launched annual Mets Giving food drive at Citi Field. Fans donating 10 plus items receive ticket vouchers and discounts as part of the team's holiday outreach. Los Angeles. Evacuation warnings issued ahead of major rainstorm. Heavy rains and mudslides risk prompt evacuation alerts in burn scar areas like the Palisades and Aladina. Topanga Canyon Boulevard closed due to a storm threat. Catarans shut down SR 27 from PCH to Grandview Drive starting Thursday night. Chicago. Reverend Jesse Jackson hospitalized with rare neurological disorder. The civic rights icon is receiving treatment as community leaders rally support. CTA freezes fare hikes and layoffs for 2026. Thanks to a new state transit funding bill, Chicago's transit system avoids cuts. Atlanta. Delta CEO says air travel will normalize by the weekend. Shutdown-related disruptions are expected to ease, restoring flight schedules. And Gullah Geechee community wins zoning battle. Georgia Supreme Court sides with hog hummock landowners in a historic preservation case. In Houston, Federal shutdown ends, Houston agencies reopen. Local offices resume operations, but backlogs and delayed benefits may persist. St. Jude Dream Home giveaway launches in Houston. Residents can enter to win a new home while supporting pediatric care. Washington, D.C., government shutdown ends after 43 days. President Trump signs that stopgap bill. Federal workers return, but recovery will take some time. AI stop sign cameras installed in Prince George's County. New tech aims to improve pedestrian safety across Maryland suburbs. Miami, military experience can now replace college degrees for county jobs. Miami-Dade passes resolution to expand veteran hiring pathways. Memorial honors Sergeant David Cazuzo, at Hard Rock Stadium. Miami Beach mourns the fallen officer with tributes and faith-centered reflections. Tampa, Ybor City crash suspect denied bond. Silas Sampson faces 14 charges after a deadly crash that killed 4 and injured 13. FSU linebacker completes rehab after gunshot injury. Ethan Pritchard moves to next recovery phase after 34 days of intensive care. Tarpon Springs. Good morning, Dad. City tests 2-hour parking lot limit downtown. New signage installed to improve turnover and support local businesses. Food truck rules may become permanent despite low participation. Tarpon Springs considers formalizing its mobile vendor program. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Morning, Reed. Crash closes I-41, I-45 southbound at 124th Street. A semi-truck collision causes major traffic disruption near the county line this morning. STI Health Clinic temporarily closes due to staffing shortages. Public health services pause amid personnel gaps. Jackson, Mississippi. Mississippi to issue full SNAP benefits after delay. MDHS confirms November payments will resume following USDA guidance. And Pearl police chase ends in Jackson arrest. 2 suspects face felony charges after shoplifting pursuit and drug recovery. Toronto, Ontario teachers to strike Monday over class size and pay disputes. Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario announced a 1-day strike after failed negotiations with the province. Toronto police launched a holiday safety blitz. Officers will receive patrols in shopping districts and transit hubs throughout December. Vancouver, BC ferries cancel 12 sailings due to windstorm. High winds force cancellations on major routes, stranding hundreds of travelers. Vancouver approves $3.2 billion budget with focus on housing and policing. City Council passed the 2026 budget, allocating record funds to affordable housing and public safety. Bless up, Jamaica. Kingston, mayor calls for updating building code after Hurricane Melissa. Kingston's mayor urges stricter standards for critical infrastructure following storm damage. Jamaica versus Trinidad ends in 0-0 in the World Cup qualifier. The Reggae Boys remain second in Group B after a gritty draw in Port of Spain. Montego Bay United relocates training to Kingston after the storm. The football club prepares for league restart while assessing damage to its home stadium. Sangster Airport still operating with 7 gates offline. Travelers face delays as repairs continue from Hurricane Melissa. Ocho Rios. Carnival Sunrise makes first post-storm call to Ocho Rios. Cruise tourism resumes with symbolic ceremony and $1 million donation from Carnival Corporation. Power restored to key tourism zones ahead of the winter season. JPS and NWC accelerate recovery efforts as hotels prepare for December bookings. Negril. Negril Post Office relocates to Marine Park facility. Temporary site opens to serve Norman Manley Boulevard and West End Road. Former hotel manager admits to stealing $57 million. Sentencing set for December after embezzlement conviction. Cayman Islands. Cayman government reports $100 million plus in Q3 surplus. Finance Ministry credits strong tourism rebound and fiscal discipline. Jamaicans shine at Cayman Islands Chess Classic. FM Jaden Shaw and CM Akeem Brown place in top 6 at international tournament. Bahamas. Centurion One Capital hosts $500 billion AUM summit at Baha Mar. The exclusive event features CEOs, investors, and a Lenny Kravitz performance. Royal Caribbean adjusts Nassau port call due to cold front. Utopia of the Seas swaps sea day and port visit for smoother sailing. Nigeria. Lagos State launches $200 billion bond for infrastructure projects. The 10-year-old bond aims to fund housing, transport, and healthcare terms under the Themes Plus agenda. Hairstylist killed in suspect cult attack in Satellite Town. Police confirm fatal shooting amid rising cult-related violence. Ghana. J.A.B suspects recruitment after deadly stampede at El Wak Stadium. 6 dead, 5 in ICU. Officials step aside as investigation begins. Passport fees slashed to $350 effective November 13th. New pricing includes courier delivery and faster processing times. All right, on to our weather. New York, mostly sunny, high of 63 and a low of 48 with light winds and dry conditions. Los Angeles, sunny and warm, high of 78 and a low of 58. Chicago, partly cloudy, high of 54, low of 42 with a breezy afternoon. Atlanta, mostly sunny, high of 70 degrees and low of 50. Houston, clear skies with a high of 76 and a low of 55. Washington, D.C., sunny and crisp, high of 62 and a low of 45. Miami, warm and breezy with a high of 81 and a low of 71. Tampa, partly cloudy with a high of 79 and a low of 70. Tarpon Springs, mostly sunny, high of 78 and low of 69. Milwaukee, cloudy with a chance of light rain with a high of 48 and a low of 38. Jackson, sunny and mild, high of 72 and a low of 52. Toronto, cloudy with scattered showers, high of 50 and low of 39. Vancouver, rainy and cool with a high of 48 and a low of 41. Kingston, mostly sunny with a high of 87 and a low of 77, 33% chance of afternoon showers. Montego Bay, mostly sunny, high of 87 and a low of 77. Ocho Rios, mostly sunny, high of 87 and a low of 77. And Negril, mostly sunny, high of 87, low of 77 with a light breeze from the east. Cayman Islands, light rain showers expected with a high of 83 and a low of 77. 46% chance of rain. Bahamas, mostly sunny with a high of 77 and a low of 71. Slight chance of evening clouds. Nigeria, mostly sunny, high of 89 with a low of 78. Humid with light winds. And Ghana, mostly sunny, high of 85 and a low of 77 with a 6% chance of rain. All right, on to our sports. In the NFL, Our last night, Thursday night football with the Patriots and the Jets, it was the Patriots over the Jets, 27-14. Now on Sunday, we have quite a few games in the NFL. There will be the Commanders versus the Dolphins in Spain at 9:30 a.m. And we have the Panthers and the Falcons at 1 p.m., the Buccaneers and the Bills at 1 p.m., the Chargers and the Jaguars at 1 p.m., the Bears and the Vikings at 1 p.m., the Packers and the Giants at 1 p.m., Bengals and the Steelers at 1 p.m., the Texans and the Titans at 1 p.m. Then we also have the 49ers and the Cardinals at 4:05 p.m., the Seahawks and the Rams at 4:05, and the Ravens and the Cleveland Browns at 4:25. The Chiefs and the Broncos at 4:25, and the Lions and the Eagles on Sunday Night Football at 8:20 p.m. All those times were Eastern Standard Time. All right, in the NBA last night, we had the Suns over the Pacers, 133-98. The Hawks over the Jazz, 132-122. And the Raptors over the Cavaliers, 126-113. All the games tonight will be in Eastern Standard Time. We have the Heat and the Knicks at Madison Square Garden at 7. The Nets and the Magic at the Kia Center in Orlando at 7. The 76ers and the Pistons at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit at 7:30. The Trailblazers and the Rockets at the Toyota Center in Houston at 7. The Hornets and the Bucks at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee at 7. The Kings and the Timberwolves at Target Center in Minneapolis at 7. The Lakers and the Pelicans at Smoothie King Center in New Orleans at 7. And also the Clippers and the Mavericks at American Airlines Center in Dallas at 7:30. And the Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs at Frostbank Center in San Antonio at 8:30. All right, on to our daily feature, which is Feature Friday, and we are spotlighting champions under the age of 25. Our trailblazer this week is Mosiah Bridges. He's the founder of Mo's Bows. Now, from playground to powerhouse, Mosiah Bridges, the Memphis-born fashion prodigy, launched Mo's Bows at just 9 years old after struggling to find bow ties that matched his bold style. Taught to sew by his grandmother, Mo turned a childhood frustration into a handcrafted empire. Mo pitched his brand on Shark Tank at the age of 11, asking for $50,000 for 20% equity. Though no deal was made, Damon John stepped in as a mentor. Mo's Bows went on to land a licensing deal with the NBA, designing custom ties for all 30 teams. Now 23, Mo's Bows is valued at $3 to $4 million and continues to thrive as a premium fashion brand. His story has been featured in Oprah magazine, and he gifted a bow tie to President Barack Obama at the White House. Mosiah Bridges embodies youth vision, entrepreneurial grit, and Black elegance. His journey inspires young creatives to turn passion into purpose and proves that style can be a statement of leadership. Congratulations. All right, on to our book club segment. We are on Law 38, which is Think as You Like, but Behave Like Others. It teaches that outward conformity can be a strategic mask for inner independence. So this law emphasizes the importance of social camouflage. While you may hold unconventional beliefs or radical ideas, expressing them too openly, especially in rigid or conservative environments, can isolate you or provoke backlash. Instead, blend in outwardly while preserving your true thoughts privately. This allows you to observe, influence, and maneuver without drawing unnecessary attention or resistance. Robert Greene warns that society often punishes those who challenge norms too directly, but appearing To confirm, you gain access, trust, and influence, tools that can later be used to shift perspectives or enact change from within. So in corporate settings, a visionary employee might have bold ideas for reconstructing a company. Instead of challenging leadership head on, they might first adopt the company's language and culture, then gradually introduce innovations through accepted channels. Social media strategy, influencers often adapt trending formats to gain visibility, even if their core message is unique. Once they've built a following, they pivot to deeper or more personal content. I see that a lot. Political movements, activists may dress conservatively or speak diplomatically in public forums to avoid alienating potential allies, while privately organizing radical change. And in family dynamics, in traditional households, younger members might quietly pursue alternative lifestyles or beliefs while maintaining respectful appearances to preserve harmony and avoid conflict with their parents. So by mastering the art of blending in, you protect you protect yourself while gaining the trust and access needed to influence others. It's not being fake, it's just being strategic. All right, on to our cause of the day. Our cause of the day today is learning disabilities and how it affects children. Learning disabilities affect how children process information, but with early support, they can thrive. Today's spotlight raises awareness, breaks stigmas, and equips parents with tools to advocate for their child's success. So, what are learning disabilities? Learning disabilities, or LDs, are neurological conditions that impact how a child receives, processes, and expresses information. They do not reflect intellectual levels. Many children with LDs have average or above average IQs, and common types are dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, and nonverbal learning disorders. Non-learning learning disorders issues with spatial awareness, social cues, and executive function. Dyslexia is with difficulty with reading and language processing. Dysgraphia, challenges with writing and fine motor skills. And dyscalculia, is trouble understanding numbers and math concepts. So the common symptoms in children are difficulty identifying letters, numbers, or rhyming words, trouble organizing thoughts or completing assignments, poor memory or coordination, avoidance of reading aloud or doing math tasks, and emotional outbursts, low self-esteem, or school refusal altogether. So prevention and early support. While LDs can't always be prevented, early intervention makes a huge difference. Risk factors include family history, premature birth, malnutrition, and exposure to toxins like lead. Parents can help by observing early signs and seeking professional evaluations, creating a supportive home environment with routines and encouragement, advocating for school-based assessments and IEPs, which are individual education plans, promoting self-esteem and celebrating those small wins. So resources for parents to look into, there is the Cleveland Clinic with learning disabilities overview. The Mayo Clinic also has a learning disorders guide, and the NICHD has signs of learning disabilities. Also, there are local school districts with special education offices and the National Center for Learning Disabilities.org. All right, today in history for November 14th. In 1851, Moby Dick is published in the United States. Herman Melville's epic novel, Moby Dick, was released in the United States, introducing the world to Captain Ahab and the White Whale. Though it was a commercial failure at first, it's now considered one of the greatest American novels. In 1969, Apollo 12 launches to the moon. NASA launched Apollo 12, the second crewed mission to land on the moon. Astronaut Charles Conrad and Alan Bean would later walk on the lunar surface, proving precision landing was possible. And in 2006, Jay-Z releases Kingdom Come. After a 3-year retirement, Jay-Z returned with Kingdom Come, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200 and marking a new era in his career. All right, on to African American history for today. The birth of the Black Panther Party in October of 1966. Founded by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale in Oakland, California, the Black Panther Party began as a response to police brutality and systematic oppression. Beyond self-defense, the Panthers launched free breakfast programs, health clinics, and education initiatives, redefining community empowerment and resistance. The founding of historically Black colleges and universities, better known as HBCUs. HBCUs like Howard, Spelman, and Tuskegee were established post-Civil War to provide higher education to African Americans barred from mainstream institutions. These schools became incubators for Black elegance, producing leaders in politics, science, arts, and civil rights. HBCU alumni who shaped history and institutions will be as followed. All right. Also, we have the Harlem Renaissance from 1918 to 1937, a cultural explosion of Black art, museum, literature, music, and intellectualism centered in Harlem, New York. Figures like Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston, and Duke Ellington refined American culture and gave voice to the Black identity. All right, also our African American inventors. #1, we have Lida D. Newman, inventor of the modern hairbrush. In 1898, Lida Newman, a Black woman and activist, patented a revolutionary hairbrush designed with synthetic bristles and a detachable compartment for cleaning. Her invention improved hygiene, durability, and accessibility, especially for textured hair. 2, Archia Ross, inventor of the disposable syringe. Archia Ross, a Black inventor from Chicago, patented a disposable syringe design in 1974. His invention helped reduce infection risk and revolutionize medical safety protocols worldwide. And last, we have Jesse Russell, pioneer of wireless communication. Jesse Russell, an electrical engineer, developed the digital cellular base station, technology that made mobile phones possible. Working at Bell Labs, he transformed analog systems into digital networks, laying the foundation for 3G and beyond. All right, on to our Back to Roots segment. Today, we spotlight Ori, the divine inner head, meaning in Yoruba cosmology, Ori refers to the inner head or spiritual intuition, your personal deity, destiny, and divine compass. It is believed to be the most important Orisha spiritual force because it governs your path and your choices. So why does it matter? Before birth, each soul chooses Ori, a destiny blueprint. Honoring your Ori means aligning with your higher self, making wise decisions, and staying spiritually grounded. In traditional Yoruba practice, people offer prayers and rituals to their Ori for clarity, protection, and purpose. In today's world, Ori reminds us to trust our intuition, protect our peace, and walk in purpose. Sound familiar? And it's the ancestral echo that says, you already know who you are. Now act like it. So, an affirmation in Yoruba and in English. Now, y'all know I'm not going to do the Yoruba one. However, in English, it is, I honor my inner head. May my Ori uplift and guide me. Because the other one was not going, it was just not going to sound right. All right, on to our fact or fiction. Now, yesterday I said I was going to do this. I didn't get a lot of it done because there's just so much, but I put together a little bit. So I'm going into the Trump-Epstein connection. So today's segment dives into one of the most controversial and persistent conspiracy-laced narratives in modern politics, the relationship between President Donald Trump and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. We separate fact from fiction using verified timelines and public records and current headlines. So the backstory, who was Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein was a wealthy financier and convicted sex offender who operated in elite social circles. He was arrested in 2019 on federal charges of sex trafficking minors and died by suicide in jail later that year. His close ties to powerful figures include Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and Prince Andrew, have fueled widespread speculation and conspiracy theories. So their timeline of the complicated relationship is the late 1980s and 1990s. Trump and Epstein met in Palm Beach, Florida, where they both own property. Epstein was a frequent guest at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club. In 2002, Trump told New York Magazine, quote, I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side, end quote. In 1992, NBC footage shows Trump and Epstein at a Mar-a-Lago party, laughing and pointing at women dancing. Mid-2000s, Trump claims he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago after a dispute involving a staff member. In 2019, after Epstein's arrest, Trump said, quote, I wasn't a fan of his. I had a falling out with him a long time ago, end quote. But he was a terrific guy. Okay. So the allegations and legal documents. There's flight logs. Trump, his then wife, Marla Maples, and daughter Tiffany appeared on Epstein's flight logs in the 1990s. However, none of the flights were to Epstein's private island. Black Book. Trump's contact information appeared in Epstein's infamous Black Book, along many other public figures. Inclusion does not prove wrongdoing, they say. And Jill Harth lawsuit. Businesswoman Jill Harth accused Trump of sexual misconduct back in 1997, citing an incident during a business meeting arranged by Epstein associate George Harani. The case was later dropped. All right. And in present day headlines, on November 12th, 2025, House Democrats released emails allegedly written by Epstein claiming Trump, quote unquote, knew about the girls, end quote, and, quote, spent hours, end quote, with one of the victims. White House response, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called the emails, quote, a fake narrative to smear President Trump, end quote. Declassified files, Attorney General Pam Bondi released previously leaked Epstein documents in February 2025, but the Justice Department stated no client list was found. Public pressure. Despite Trump's 2024 campaign promise to release all Epstein-related files, critics argue that transparency has fallen short. So fact or fiction? Fact. Trump and Epstein were socially acquainted for over a decade. Another fact, Trump appeared in Epstein's flight logs and socialized with him at events. But so-called fiction is no verified evidence yet has publicly been proven that Trump's involvement was in Epstein's criminal activities have ever been proven. Allegations remain unproven and politically charged. So, the legacy and the impact of this case underscores the importance of transparency, accountability, and media literacy. As new documents emerge, the public must distinguish between substantiated facts and viral speculation. So, I have questions about who traveled with Epstein, first of all, and what really happened to Virginia Giuffre. Did Trump want to become president because that was the only way he can keep those files from being sealed or made public? Why hasn't Trump been faced with any charges for an investigation? What's in Epstein clients list, and is Trump really on it? And did Mr. Maxwell have more to do with the cover-ups of this story or the deaths of the two main characters? I have questions. I do. But let's move on, because I'm quite sure we'll hear something else today that someone said or someone's denying. So, I don't like reality shows, but the government is the best reality show ever. All right, on to our tech tip of the day. Is buying a new TV? Focus on these 5 specs, not the hype of just, the brand or nothing like that. So shopping for a TV can feel overwhelming with all the jargon. So here's how to cut through some noise and get the best screen for your space and your budget. So 5 things to look for when you want to buy a new television. Screen size versus room size. Bigger isn't always better. Measure your space and use this rule of thumb. Viewing distance in inches divided by 1.6 equals the ideal screen size for that room. The resolution. 4K is the sweet spot. 4K or Ultra HD offers crisp detail and is now standard for most content. 8K is overkill unless you're buying a 75-inch plus and watching native 8K, content. So panel type, you have OLED versus QLED versus LED. So OLED is best contrast and color, perfect for movie lovers. QLED is brighter and better for well-lit rooms. And LED is budget-friendly, solid for everyday use. So refresh the rate. 120 hertz for sports and gaming. A higher refresh rate means smoother motion. Look for 120 hertz if you watch fast-paced content or game regularly on your TV. And smart features and ports. Make sure it supports your favorite apps like Netflix, YouTube, etc., and has enough HDMI ports for your devices, a soundbar, console, your game, those things, because some TVs don't have those, or it just has one. So check for Black Friday previews and price match guarantees. Many retailers will refund the difference if the price drops within 30 days. All right, our finance tip of the day: how to calculate your yearly salary for smarter budgeting. So whether you're paid hourly, weekly, or bi-weekly, knowing your annual income is the first step to building a realistic budget. Here's how to break it down using simple tech tools or formulas. So step-by-step salary calculation. So for an hourly wage, you would take your hourly wage times 20 hours for the week times 52 weeks. So for example, if you make $20 an hour, you will multiply that by 40 hours for the work week times 52 weeks for the whole year, which will be equal to $41,600 a year. However, if you're paid biweekly, you would take your biweekly pay times 26 pay periods. For example, if you get 1,500 biweekly, you will multiply that by 26, which would give you $39,000 for your salary for the year. And if you only get paid monthly, so you would take that monthly rate, multiply that by 12, which is for the year. And an example is, say if you get paid $3,000 a month, you would multiply that times 12, which would give you a salary of $36,000 a year. So if you would rather use a budgeting app to track and plan, apps like Mint, You Need a Budget, which is YNAB, and Every Dollar let you input your annual salary, set monthly spending limits, and track bills, savings, and goals automatically. So don't forget side gigs, freelance work, or bonuses. Use spreadsheets or apps to total everything for a full financial picture. All right, our fun fact of the day is lightning can strike the same place twice, and often does. Contrary to the old saying, lightning frequently strikes the same spot multiple times, especially tall, isolated structures. The Empire State Building gets hit by lightning about 23 times a year. Why? Lightning follows the path of least resistance. Tall buildings, metal towers, and even lone trees act as magnets for electrical discharge during storms. Airplanes get struck by lightning too, but they're built to handle it, and passengers rarely even notice that it happens. I bet y'all pay attention now when y'all on a plane, in an airplane, and it's a thunderstorm. I bet you pay attention now. All right, fun holiday of the day is, it's actually Loosen Up and Lighten Up Day. It's unofficial. It's an unofficial holiday. It's all about releasing stress and letting go of perfectionism and embracing joy. Whether you're juggling deadlines or just need a breather, today is the day to laugh a little bit louder and smile a little bit longer. So how to celebrate this? Wear your comfiest outfit, even if it's fuzzy socks and a hoodie. Say no to one thing that's draining you. Watch a comedy, dance in your kitchen, or call someone who makes you laugh. And also share a lighthearted moment on social media with a hashtag Loosen Up Day. All right, our quote of the day is from Maya Angelou. Quote, "Your crown has been bought and paid for. Put it on your head and wear it." End quote. This quote is a powerful reminder of inherited strength, dignity, and the legacy of those who came before us. It's a call to rise on your own worth and walk boldly in your purpose. All right, on to our music and entertainment. First up, we have Teyana Taylor earns her first ever Grammy nomination. Teyana Taylor broke down in tears after learning she received her first Grammy nod this week. Known for her soulful vocals, and bold choreography, Taylor's nomination marks a major milestone in her career, validating years of independent artistry and creative direction. Congratulations. Salt and Pepper call out the music industry over Masters dispute. During their Rock and Roll Hall of Fame spotlight, Salt and Pepper used their platform to demand justice for artists who don't own their masters. The legendary trio emphasized that Black artists have historically been exploited by record labels and called for industry-wide reform. And last, Grammy-winning artist ZA teamed up with LA Restaurant and John and Vinny's to provide over 1,400 free meals to families receiving SNAP benefits. The initiative launched on November 11th, blended music, food, and community care. All right, our song of the day is "Cry for Me" by The Weeknd. Hopefully everybody knows who The Weeknd is. All right, and on to our celebrity gossip. We have Tiffany Haddish's African Adventure sparks drama on Peacock series. In her new docuseries, Tiffany Haddish Goes Off, Haddish travels to Africa with her 3 best friends, but the trip quickly turns emotional. She revealed that unresolved tension followed them overseas, saying, quote, It was great to be with my girls going through that, but it got real, end quote. Fans are praising the show's raw honesty and sisterhood, while critics wonder if the drama was too much for reality TV. Megan Thee Stallion is manifesting Super Bowl halftime glory. Megan Thee Stallion told reporters she's ready to embrace the challenge of headlining a future Super Bowl halftime show. With her recent chart-topping hits and viral performances, fans are rallying behind the idea. Her statement ignited social media debates over who should headline next, Megan, Usher again, or a surprise Beyonce return. And also we have Queen Latifah reunites with Living Single cast for behind-the-scenes secrets. Queen Latifah and her former castmates spilled rare behind-the-scenes stories from Living Single, including how the show's original concept was pitched and how their real-life sisterhood shaped the series. All right, on to our celebrity birthdays. It is Boosie Badass's birthday today. He turns 42. Fun fact about him, despite legal battles and controversy, Boosie remains a prolific voice in independent hip-hop with over 40 mixtapes and albums released. We also have an honorable mention for Devontae Smith, who turns 26 today. He's an NFL wide receiver and 2020 Heisman Trophy winner. Fun fact, Smith made history as the first wide receiver to win the Heisman in nearly 30 years and continues to shine with the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, on to our lifestyle segment. Today, our soul food recipe is candied sweet potatoes, or also known as candied yams. This classic African-American soul food dish is a staple at holiday tables and Sunday dinners. It's rich, sweet spice with warm flavors that honor generations of Black culinary tradition. Our beverage of the day is Sorrel Hiccabus Mule. This vibrant spice drink is a modern twist on the traditional West African and Caribbean red drink, often served during celebrations like Juneteenth. It's made with sorrel, hopefully I'm saying that right, a Hiccabus-based liqueur created by Jackie Summers, the first Black American to receive a distiller's license post-prohibition. All right, on to our men's health tip of the day. Know your numbers. Diabetes awareness. Why it matters. November is National Diabetes Awareness Month. And today, the African American Male Wellness Agency is hosting the You Got This National Diabetes Awareness Celebration in Columbus, Ohio. The event empowers Black men to take control of their health through education, screening, and community support. So monitor your blood sugar, even if you feel fine. Type 2 diabetes disproportionately affects African American men, often going undetected until serious complications arise. Experts recommend annual screenings for blood glucose and A1C levels, tracking your numbers using apps like My Sugar or Glucose Buddy, reducing sugar intake and increasing fiber-rich foods like beans, greens, and whole grains, and staying active at least 30 minutes of movement daily. Over 85% of Black men screened in 2024 had high blood pressure, and many didn't even know it. Knowing your numbers isn't just smart, it's about survival. So go to the doctor, gentlemen. Women's health tip of the day, prioritize midlife wellness. Menopause is not a taboo. Why it matters is the Black Women's Health Imperative, or BWHI, is leading a national movement called Power in the Pause, which refines how Black women experience menopause and midlife. The initiative encourages women to embrace aging with strength, knowledge, and community support. So track your menopause symptoms and advocate for yourself. Many Black women experience menopause early and with more intense symptoms, but often go undiagnosed or unsupported. Experts recommend keeping a simple symptom journal to track hot flashes, mood changes, and sleep disruptions. Talking openly with your doctor about hormone therapy, nutrition, and mental health, joining support groups or online communities focused on Black women's midlife health, and exploring holistic options like yoga, acupuncture, and plant based diets to ease symptoms. So, an empowerment reminder: menopause is not the end, it's the transition. With the right tools and mindset, it can be a powerful rebirth into your next chapter. All right, our in relationship advice today for couples: invest in culturally rooted connection rituals. Black Marriage Week organizers emphasize the power of shared rituals like weekly check-ins, prayer circles, or date nights rooted in cultural traditions to strengthen intimacy and communication. Licensed therapists from the Relationship Boosters team recommends couples create a legacy love list to honor shared values and future goals. So start a weekly ritual that reflects your shared heritage, whether it's cooking a family recipe, reading affirmations, or revisiting old photos, but do it together. Our friendship tip today is celebrate wins loudly and often. Psychologist Marissa Franco, who's the author of Platonic, highlights that celebrating a friend's success is more impactful than simply supporting them through those hard times. Research shows that affirming joy deepens trust and emotional closeness. So send a voice note, post a shout out, or treat your friend to lunch when they achieve something, big or small. And for families, embrace the power of extended kinship. Waymaker Journal reports that Black families thrive through inclusive kinship networks, such as grandparents, cousins, and chosen family, all play vital roles in resilience and identity. These bonds are rooted in African traditions and have helped Black families navigate systematic challenges. So host a family story night or create a shared digital photo album that includes extended relatives and chosen family members. All right, on to our daily horoscopes. We start with Aries. You're fired up and ready to lead, but don't bulldoze others in the process. Your lucky color today is crimson and your lucky number is 9. Taurus, slow down and savor the moment. A small luxury brings big joy. Your lucky color is sage green and your lucky number is 2. Gemini, your words carry weight today. Use them to uplift, not unravel. Your lucky color is sky blue and your lucky number is 5. Cancer, home is your sanctuary. Declutter your space to clear your mind. Your lucky color today is silver and your lucky number is 4. Leo, you're magnetic today. Use your charm to inspire, not just impress. Your lucky color today is gold and your lucky number is 1. Virgo, details matter, but don't miss the big picture. Trust your gut. Your lucky color today is navy and your lucky number is 6. Libra, balance is beautiful, but today calls for bold decisions. Your lucky color today is rose pink and your lucky number is 8. Scorpio, your intuition is razor sharp. Follow it, even if it defies logic. Your lucky color today is deep purple and your lucky number is 11. Sagittarius, adventure calls, even in small ways. So say yes to something spontaneous. Your lucky color today is burnt orange and your lucky number is 3. Capricorn, your ambition is admirable, but don't forget to rest. Your lucky color today is charcoal and your lucky number is 7. Aquarius, innovation follows you when you collaborate. Share your vision. Your lucky color today is electric blue and your lucky number is 22. And Pisces, your dreams hold messages. Write them down before they fade. Your lucky color is lavender and your lucky number is 12. All right, on Monday's show, which will be Motivational Monday, we're going to start the week with clarity, courage, and creative fire. So Monday's show is all about setting the tone and protecting your energy. So our highlights will be a mindset reset. We'll have a power quote, our song of the day, another soul food spotlight, relationship, and our health tips. So at this time, I would like to thank our sponsors. So shout out to Bellow Burn Hot Sauce. Add some fire to your plate. RAS Herbals, Heal Natural, Live Vibrant. And Clarion Candles, where peace meets scent. Whew. If that week had edges, it just snatched every last one. But guess what? We made it moisturized, melanated, and still magnetic. So go ahead, treat yourself like the main character you are. Sip something strong, stretch into something tight, and block something toxic. I'll see y'all Monday. Same vibe, same slay. Have a great weekend, everyone. Period.